Bokaye I. Hello everyone, and thank you for giving me the space to speak today. My name is Audrey Jova. Kumo Njogo is my Bwiti name, and I come from a Bwiti Fang lineage in Gabon. On my mother's side, my grandmother was a Nima, which is a Bwiti healer. My mother was also a Nima.
I carry that lineage, and today I am stepping into that role myself. My parents met in Gabon in the 70s, later moving to France. I grew up mostly raised in a Western context where my biggest desire was to fit in. I knew my mother had mystical powers and carried deep knowledge of Bwiti, but as a child, I didn't feel connected to that tradition. When I was 13, my mother passed away. Her last wish was to be buried in our ancestral village in Gabon. At that time, I had never seen a grave, and I felt very far from my roots. But as I grew older, I started to feel a strong calling, a pull that became impossible to ignore. Eventually,
I traveled to Gabon to see my mother's grave. When I arrived, I found that her grave had been placed right next to the Bwiti temple in her village. That temple is where my aunt now does the work my mother would have been doing if she had lived. On that trip, my aunt initiated me and my father, who had been initiated once before in the 70s, and went through his second initiations alongside me. That initiation was life-changing. At the end, it was crystal clear to me that I was here to continue the work of my ancestors. It felt as if something inside me woke up, memories that had been there, lying dormant in my blood, suddenly activated. I realized that the callings and signs I had felt for years were my lineage speaking through me. I remembered who I am, and I stepped onto the path that had been waiting for me. After that initiation, the next step was obvious. Iboga was becoming known worldwide, mostly for addiction recovery, yet very little of the attention or financial benefit was returning to Gabon. Even more concerning, Bwiti voices, our voices, were rarely heard. So I founded Bwiti Roots, a non-profit organization together with my family and community. Our aim is to preserve our tradition, support our village, and ensure that Iboga and Bwiti remain together as they were always meant to be. Life in rural Gabon is very difficult. Many young people leave for the cities, and the old ways are at risk of disappearing. But Bwiti and Iboga are inseparable. To treat Iboga just a plant that cures addiction is to reduce it to a symptom fixer, the same way pharmaceutical medicine often does. In truth, Iboga within Bwiti is a profound system of healing and knowledge. It works on intergenerational trauma, on ancestral cycles, on transformation of the spirit and the community. At Bwiti Roots, we work in several ways. We support our family village in Gabon, including building infrastructures like a shop and helping the local school, which lacks teachers and resources. We also plant Iboga so that the next generations will have access to it. Some of our trees are already over 20 years old and used in ceremonies today. We train and support women in the pharmacopoeia, ensuring that traditional knowledge of the plants is preserved and passed on. We run a traditional medicine clinic in the village, following ancient rites where our people can receive healing rooted in our culture. All of this is done by family and community members in Gabon and abroad, working together through Bwiti Roots. I want to be direct here. There is a lot of talk about psychedelics and addiction recovery in the global north. People know the names of clinics, providers, and even pharmaceutical companies who are now investing in Iboga alkaloids. But almost no one knows the names of the Bwiti people whose devotion, discipline, and ceremonies have made all of this possible. Without centuries of Bwiti practice, none of you would have ever heard of Iboga. Yet, when I attend conferences, when I see panels and discussions, there is almost no representation from Gabon. Our voices are not included, and our forests are being pillaged to feed the global market for Iboga root bark. Too many take and very few give back. This is more than unfair, it's dangerous. If Iboga is uprooted from Bwiti, from the culture that has cared for it and understood it for centuries, maybe millennia, then what remains will be a hollow version of its true medicine. The knowledge of how to work with Iboga safely, respectfully, and powerfully exists in Bwiti communities. If those voices are excluded, the world loses that knowledge. Reciprocity is not a nice add-on. It is essential. And reciprocity means more than buying root bark or paying for ceremonies abroad. It means supporting the communities in Gabon that have carried this medicine for generations. It means including Gabonese voices at conferences, in research, and in decision making. It means returning resources, respect, and opportunities to the people who gave this gift to the world. So what do we do now? How do we make this right? At Bwiti Roots, we believe in building partnerships where everyone wins. The model we developed is simple. Knowledge and guidance flow from our community to partners who want to work with Iboga. And in return, those partners support projects in our village that keep the tradition alive. For example, we have a partnership with Eterio, an Iboga retreat center in Mexico. They learn from us about how to respect our tradition and culture. And when they hold ceremonies, we hold ceremonies in the village at the same time. So there is a living connection between our work and theirs. They also donate a portion of their profits to projects in our village, whether it's planting more Iboga, supporting the school, or maintaining our temple. This is what a win-win looks like. Everyone benefits. The tradition is respected. Our village is supported. More Iboga goes into the ground. The medicine remains connected to its roots, while people around the world can access it safely and with integrity. This is the kind of model I believe we need to replicate. Partnerships built on respect, reciprocity, and shared benefit. Inclusion of indigenous voices, not as a token gesture, but as central leaders in the conversation. Systems that ensure the medicine is not exploited, but protected for future generations. I am grateful to be speaking here today because spaces like this can help shift the narrative. We have a chance to do things differently, to not repeat the old patterns of exploitation and erasure, but to create something new, something rooted in respect, reciprocity, and real connection. Iboga is not just another psychedelic. It is the heart of a living tradition, the Bwiti. To honor Iboga, we must honor Bwiti. And to honor Bwiti, we must include our voices, our communities, and our ways of knowing. That is what I ask of all of you here today. As we continue exploring the role of psychedelics in addiction recovery and beyond, let us do so with integrity. Let us make sure that what we build is not only healing individuals, but also healing the relationships between cultures and between humans and the earth. Thank you. Basse.
Analo ko kimbele mazama makamaso na maso ko zala ko kiyo le ko kiyo bere ko kimbele mazama makamaso na maso ko iko wala ko maso ko le ano ne bere ko kimbele ye bere ko ni o bere ko kimbele ye bere ko kayana go menyo no ko kimbele ye bere ko ka go menyo no ko kimbele ye bere oh, cocky, but I'm not my cup on animals. Oh, cocky, cocky. But if you're cocky, but I'm not my cup on animals. Oh, you're going to go, but if you Birasa wawa we, birasa wawa no, birasa wawa makoko birasa wawa. Eh, dale, dale gomani birasa wawa.